Hello, everybody. Hey, listen, we're a little later than normal, but we appreciate you hanging out. But we know why you're here is because you want to win at DK as much as Indiana likes to lose when they go on the road to Wisconsin. We get it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's get it going. Recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that Green Screens Media train. Welcome to One and Done, powered by drroto.com. We are your fast break of college basketball information. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Jay Heinrich, and I am the conductor of the aforementioned Green Screens Media train. Follow me on X at Dr. William Cannon. Let's get right to two of the best in the business to do it. Let's start with El Capitan himself. He is the captain of the Green Screens Media ship. Follow him on X at MC Holland 34, the OG Money Mike. If you didn't know, that is Mr. Mike Holland. What it do, baby?
Yo, what's up? What's up? Yeah, appreciate everyone tuning in. A little late night after dark could get weird here, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to chat about the old slate here. So yeah, I'm just excited. We got 12 games. We got one more weekend Saturday NFL. So we should get some bigger contests coming up soon, and February is going to be a big run for us. So I'm excited to hop in here, Jay.
No doubt about it. And, of course, last in the intros, but you know that man is first in your hearts. The Baron of Bread of Green Screens Media that you can find in those Twitter streets at Fantasy Nav. That's Eric the Blue, Mr. Eric Roma. What's happening?
Man, I just finished thawing out from the last show, and now we're going with the after dark version, the graveyard shift. So I'm all bundled up, ready to get into this 12-game slate. And we, despite the later start time, this chat is already popping. We got Cam in here. What it do, fellas? Not the breadheads, the doughboys, ready to get this bread.
Let's go.
And he's over here celebrating Caden Proctor to Iowa week as well. And then we have a new chatter. Ring the bell. M Money 421. First time tuning in live. I think I have a guess for one of the core four. Definitely drop those in the live chat. We love it when we see that we're in lockstep with you guys and that you are feeling some of the same core plays as us. So definitely make sure that you are jumping into that live chat as we set off into this 12-gamer.
No doubt about it. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody for hopping in. If you're here this late with us and you're watching live, make sure you hop in that live chat so we can shout you out and show you some love. And make sure you show us some love by following at One and Done CBB on X, and then at Get Green Screens as well for the Green Screens Media account. We're posting bets here and there and doing our thing over there on Elon's hellhole. Won't you join us? But before we read anything else in the live chat, let's get to the slate overview. 12-game slate tips at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The $15 Big Jam. 2K to first tomorrow. Not too shabby. We can deal with 2K. You know, the $250, King of the Bracket seat number 14 is running as well. So, Mike, I mean, you look at this slate and it doesn't just make me want to give it a big hug. I'll just say that.
Oh man! First I want to address the comments first. M Money 421, first time tuning in live. Appreciate that, man. Let us know. You said you have a guest for one of our core four members. Throw it out there. So we'd love to see what you got. Mama Rock saying, "What's up, fellas?" Jeremy Wilson B. I don't know that we've heard this name before. Let's go, fellas. Love your show. New follower. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey.
And the comment that I
doughboy out there.
Yeah, I need doughboy out there. One guy that I really want to address here. Mike, where's your wonderful headphones? You look naked.
Man.
Oh,
Mama Rocks is dialed in.
dude, like, yeah.
Change
well,
the slightest thing.
just-
We're gonna
I
start
did just
hiding like
realize, like-
Easter eggs in the shot, so she
I
can
just
pick them
realized
all
like
out.
2 minutes ago that I didn't have my headphones, so I got to grab them at some point. Cam's laughing at that, so now I'm getting laughed at this point. Core Four predictions. In Money saying Sean Padula. Love it. Snake Eyes
Ooh.
hopping in here. Mama Rock still laughing at me, I guess.
Snake Eyes.
Owen jumping up in here. What's up, y'all? Ready to win big tomorrow? Jason B,
Ooh.
man, throwing some shade at me right here. Evening Gin saw Mike on Wednesday when I passed him on my way to first place in the $1 single entry. Awesome stuff, Jason B. And then this last comment here, the Back It Up Bench podcast. What's up, gents? Hey, appreciate you guys coming by.
You know, I was trying to roll through. I didn't realize we had 8,000 comments in the live chat. We appreciate that. Thanks for shouting us out and for being a part of this. It's a little one and done after dark, like Eric said. But we're here. Mitt. Look at Mitt. Mitt. It's been a minute.
Mitt's here.
Mitt's back.
Oh snap!
Hey,
Mitt's
Man,
back.
now I really got to go get my headphones.
Good to see everybody popping in there. We appreciate that. Yeah, congrats, Jason, on your win in the single entry there. Good stuff. Keep the chat rolling. We'll get to it for sure. But, Mike, let's get to the slate overview here. All that stuff still applies, like I said, and I still don't want to give the slate a hug.
I hear that, my friend. My bad. I saw the shade and slander thrown my way. I had to address, you know what I mean? Okay, first thing, man, value is terrifying. Like, scary. Like, horror movie style scary. So, the Arkansas team – the rotations are crazy. We got some guys that I want to play, but I don't feel great when I click the name, and I don't want to get burned by Musselman for the 5,000th time. So that is pretty scary there. Even our Longhorns have a guy that's going to get probably 30 minutes, maybe. We'll see. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Zach Edey's on the slate, so I'm already in trouble. My year has been so up and down because I refuse to play him when he's close to 11K or over 11K. So I have been doing it wrong for half the slates, and then really just 2 games I'm probably looking to cross off. OU, Cincinnati, San Diego State, Boise State. I don't have a lot of interest in those games, Eric, man. Like, what say you on this slate?
Yeah, it almost feels like you kind of gotta like lean into some of that weird, gross, volatile value that you mentioned, and pair them up with Edey, largely because the mid tier, our beloved mid tier, is kind of pricey on tomorrow's slate, right? So like you can usually, you can get the guys in like the low mid 6K range that still have like 30, 35 plus point upside. And now those guys are like in the high 6s and some are into the 7s, right? So like, that balanced build is kind of hard to get to. Part of that price hike being the mid tier, I believe, is due to these condensed rotations, right? The DraftKings algorithm is catching up with what these rosters and these coaches are doing now that we're in conference play. So, pricing is continuing to get even more tighter than it was before. Now these other teams, have started to, really shorten up their rotation and their benches, and that's leaving us in kind of a weird spot in terms of putting together a winning roster on DK, right? So like, I think this might be the slate where we kind of break our trend of playing 5 guards and 3 forwards. That's kind of our default sort of texture or mixture overall. The forward pool, it's kind of enticing on this one, right? So these are the things that are kind of spinning around in my head as we head into it. But these things are subject to change as we talk through all of these games.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Mama Rocks in the chat saying Biggs versus Penn State there, Felix season. Yeah.
Know this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then Mama Rocks again, Dix again if McCaffrey's out. And then Jason B, Connect Nuclear again. He is not
better at that price.
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. And we're going to touch on this here right around the corner. So it's a nice lead in there to our showcase games here. Ken Palm lines, of course, are the lines that we like to use. We're going to do 4 showcase games. We've got Marquette, St. John's, Miami, Syracuse, Purdue, and Iowa. And then we are going to start here with Alabama on the road at Tennessee. 4-point underdogs are the Crimson Tide. 162-point implied total here. So that means Tennessee up there above 80, which is not a surprise with their newfound tempo. All of a sudden, with their 21st offensive efficiency, 2nd defensive efficiency, which is what you expect. But then when you see a 2-digit number in the tempo column at 93, this is a brand new team. But we're going to talk about Alabama first, who is first place in offensive efficiency, 63rd in defensive efficiency, 33rd in tempo. So believe it or not, it's a pace-up game for Tennessee. And we're used to hearing that, but not as often anymore. Both teams use their bench a little bit here and there. Alabama more than Tennessee. But let's start with Alabama. 9-man rotation. 6 guys, 20-plus minutes, Mike. How are we approaching the Tide here on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I like the pricing on the Tide. I don't necessarily like that they're on the road playing Tennessee, but I like that Tennessee's playing faster. So it kind of makes me like the guys at the top. I mean, Mark Sears, he's 7,700. That's after a 20-26. I love that. I will play him in tournaments for sure. I just think this game is interesting. Both teams tough defensively, but they play so fast. So it feels like some guys are gonna crush, and then it feels like some other guys are not so much. I mean, it's gonna be a weird game. So you're getting the big price savings on Sears, huge rates. I mean, if Bama's gonna pull this upset, like if you look in the box score and you see Bama's won this game, I feel like Mark Sears probably had the biggest impact in the game. So I'm looking at Mark Sears for tournaments. Aaron Estrada, the savings is not quite where it used to be, right? Like Sears is up in the mid-8s. Now he's down at 7.7. Estrada's, coming up like a little bit, ticking up a couple $100 every slate. Crushed him the other, I think it was last Saturday when he had the 43 spot or whatever it was, middle of the week, he had the 43 spot. Feels like he never gets played on larger slates. So, he just does so many things. I mean, a 26% shot rate, 20% rebounding rate, 23% assist rate, shoots 38% from 3. Tennessee's giving up 35% from 3 in conference play. We kind of talked about that last time before they got canceled on the slate and Dalton Connect went crazy. But Estrada's got a 40-plus upside. Basically, every time he touches the floor, it's just a little bit harder to click his name when Sears is only $200 more. So the rest of this team, man, it's such a headache. Like, if you want to go down to the bottom here, like, Reitzel, I mean, he's so shot dependent. I wish he was 4,500. I would maybe take a look at him then. But I mean, where's the upside at this price? I don't, maybe if he was at home here, but on the road in a tough environment, I don't think I want to go to Reitzel. Nick Pringle is such a head scratcher. I mean, he just doesn't have a usage rate or shot rate. I mean, he does a lot on the floor, like rebounding and blocking shots, but I wish he was like 3,800. So it feels like these guys are like $500 too much. His role in minutes are in question. So that leaves my boy Grant Nelson and Rylan Griffin, Eric. What do you think about these guys in this matchup?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting spot for each of them, kind of for different reasons. With Nelson in particular, he's one of these guys that's seeing his price tag slowly start to creep up. It's because he's earned it, right? He's been playing better of late. Couple of 30 spots in these last couple of games. For me, Nelson feels more like a tourney option, right? Like the price bump hurts a little bit. I do think that might draw some ownership away from him. It's on the road, like I don't think you need to prioritize Nelson, but if you want to mix him in, it's fine, right? You certainly don't mind his 14% assist rate as a forward. Hard to get those dimes from the big men. So there are worse spots, but he is like the prime candidate of what I was talking about in the Slate overview. Like Grant Nelson, when he was 64, 6,600, fine. 7.1, it feels kind of weird. So I don't know if I'm going to find myself getting there a ton. If you want to save a little bit of money, you can go down to Rylan Griffin, 6.5K. He's always interesting in tournaments, right? He's another guy on this Crimson Tide side that got priced up. In his case, significantly $900, right? So like he'll pop off for these big games every now and again, and then he'll turn around and give you like a 16 or a 17. So not without his risks, right? But that upside is legitimate and very much so something that is going to have him in the tournament pool. But neither of these really feel like guys that I'm going to go out of my way to roster tomorrow.
Snake Eyes in the chat saying roll tide. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know how much I'm going to get into Alabama except for Sears. I mean, God, what a player. I don't know. I don't know if I can do any of these other guys, but Sears is going to definitely be in a large percentage of my lineups. Let's get to Tennessee, gentlemen, if we may. Only 8 guys really seeing minutes here. When these games are close, all 5 starters are going to get 25 plus. Like, it's an understood. And everyone but Vescovi, Mike, is going to play big minutes.
Yeah, man, and that includes our guy, old Dalton Connect. What do you do here, man? I mean, he's like the first guy you click on, right? Like, Cam, got to come along here with the fade with me, man. It's going to be oh boy, yeah, 2-man car crash instead of just me, man. Got to come with me. I don't know. I mean, like, for tournaments on the large field, I get trying to create leverage. Like, he's got to be 50% tomorrow. I mean, 52, 52, 45. Like, he should be 9K, and he should be 10K at this point. So, even at 10K, you might still play him. I don't know, man. On our one and done projections, just looking at it right now, I mean, he's got a 4.3x baseline. So, I don't know. I'm not going to get – if you can tell me where the field is going to be, I'll be right with the field. Even that feels like that's doing it wrong because –
What if it's 33%?
If it's 30%, I'm 40, if it's 33%, then I'll be over. If it's 45 to 50,
well,
that's when I start getting cute. That's when I start getting cute.
I'm trying to get a realistic, number out of you here. So it sounds like you're going to be in the 40 to 45 range.
I mean, do I have to be?
No, you don't. I'm just asking. Like,
I mean, I guess I should be is what I'm trying to tell myself. I should be at 40%, and then when you get in the lab at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and you end up with 15% Dalton Connect, then you just enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I guess. I mean, you don't really have to when he puts up another 50 bomb. Yeah, hey, this is what it is. But you're gonna create so much leverage, man, because he might even be more than that. I don't know. It depends. At some point, sharps are gonna start to fade him, right? Like at some point, I would think. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like the rest of the team, it feels like they are playing well, but they will not take away from his production, which is so annoying. Like Jonas Adu, like what? He's hitting the 40s. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you're telling me Dalton Connect is going for this is a new Tennessee, Jay. Like you said, man. Like Connect's going for 50s, 80's going for 40s. What is this? I mean, one of the hottest DFS boards in the game, 3 or 4 in the 40s. I should say the last 4. I just don't know if we can keep it going, man. Like it's pretty terrifying. I'll go to Josiah Jordan James. I think Cam had mentioned putting him in his core, catching his eyes. Braden Smith, Josiah Jordan James, and Michi Johnson. And look who it is, Mohamed Diarra, who was only 10% in the Big Jam the other day, but 40% in our one and done invitation. But yeah, I'll get some. At some point, it feels like Connect will come down to a 36, and James will get up to a 31. And if I'm gonna save $1,800 at that point in a tournament, have a lot more money to spend. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to talk myself off of 40 to 50% Dalton Connect, and maybe that's the wrong way to do it, Eric. I mean, I don't know. For me, I don't know. He's kind of the key to the slate, though. So we have to obviously focus in on him. But someone like Ziegler is the same price, dude. Like, what are you going to do with Ziegler and your boy Vescovi, whatever you say his name?
My boy Vescovi taking strays from Jay up front about not getting no play.
Everybody's playing but him.
Look, I think like double clicking on this kind of like strategy conversation around Dalton Connect, like if you're thinking that he's going to be around 20% of the field, or just in general, if you're thinking that you're going to be under the field on Connect, like you have to take a long, hard look at Zakai Ziegler. Like the exact same price, people are absolutely going to click Connect's name before they do for Zakai. And look, like Ziegler has plenty of upside in his own regard. Yeah, he's coming off a 20 spot. You don't like that, but you go back in his game logs, he's got 48, he's got a 45 in there, right? So like that upside is legit. And Alabama, like they're turning the ball over 12% of the time in conference play by way of the steal. Ziegler comes in with a 3% steal rate, right? So like, you know, when we talk about either fading or just coming in underweight on a guy like Connect that we think is going to be popular, you know, one of the best ways to take full advantage of that strategy is by leveraging off of that fade with a similar play or a guy in a similar price tag. So for me, if you're coming in underweight on Dalton, like Ziegler's just sitting right there, I feel real good about clicking that button if that's the strategy I'm taking. And I guess we'll talk about Vescovi, right? As Jay alluded to, doesn't play a whole lot of minutes, at least here lately. 5K flat. I mean, he's really fallen from grace in this Tennessee system, right? Like, you know, Connect, Adu, you know, these are guys that have come in and really limited Vescovi's role on this team overall. I mean, you'd think with a guy that's this talented, like that cream would rise to the crop, but you know, I mean, at a certain point, like you can't feel good clicking the button on his name, right? Like he's not getting the run. His rates are miserable. There will be a point where he's going to pop off. I'm kind of
like
done trying to guess where it is. Yeah, like,
Enjoy
any
it.
day now, but I'm fine missing it. You know.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy it if you click his name. Enjoy that freaking roller coaster that you're going to get there. And the chat is absolutely on fire right now. Let's see some new names in there, but let's start with Mama Rocks getting in there, ending with Cam. So many guards. Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. What else have we got here? Micah.
Ooh, Micah watched firsthand. Connect just torched them Georgia Bulldogs.
Lock button. I mean, it's one of the.
That's why
it's Edie and Connect, right? Now. It's freaking annoying. Like it's now it was just Edie. Now I got to deal with Dalton Connect every slate he's on. Like it's the way it is, man.
Ooh, and money. See, and money's getting it here
with Connect.
Ooh,
no, he says
he's gonna go with them.
I don't see anyone.
Eric Romoff play double guard at 16K almost.
The old double dip. All right, everyone put one more line up in the dollar and make that Zakai Ziegler Connect double dip.
Look who's back, gentlemen. It's Sam the Sniper.
Coming to do his victory lap on Auburn season, I see.
Sam's feeling pretty good about these Tigers right now. Welcome back, Sam.
We're still talking about Broom for 35 minutes, and that nothing's changed, Sam.
Good to see you back, Sam, and good to see everybody in the chat. Keep them coming. Make sure you smash those like and subscribe buttons as well for your broskies in basketball. Show us some love and tell the hoopheads in your life if you like what you're watching today. Hey, you know, follow our guy at The Real Napier, too, over there on Twitter. Give him a follow. You know, he's our guy.
The guy that's making all the money in this crew.
He had a T3 in the Big Jam the other day, right?
Yeah, after he won like $500 last week. Now he's out on a hot day, dude. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
He got on that right sell big game before his price went up. He got like a 26 out of him at 4K.
And
dude's just dialed in. Now he's spending all that money.
Yeah, to celebrate, he's not even hanging out in the studio tonight. He's just out and about, you know, getting into something.
In the streets, man.
He's out there in them streets having a good time, hopefully. So shout him out.
Johnny K, Jay, look at this comment, bro.
Right? Basically. Johnny, if you saw that last show, by the time we were out of here, I had like the Andy Reid frozen mustache while playing that game again. All right, I'm bundled up. Also, tonight's show brought to you by Mahelen.
Somebody send this guy a space heater, please.
Yeah,
I'm in front of a space heater.
God,
it's cold.
Jeez, it is getting sub freezing down here in central Texas tonight. So Eric does look like he's outside. Shout out to Johnny K for dropping that gem in the chat there. Yeah, all right. Like and subscribe. Drop it in the chat. Yeah, we know you're good, Johnny. You're good, man.
Good.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious to watch him, like, as the show goes, like, just,
no,
on the steady
Before
decline.
long, I'm just
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, you're gonna just
got like a barrel with a fire going behind me.
Gonna have a mask on just to cover your face and stuff. No, sorry, Eric. It looked Johnny. I should say I saw a blue emoji on there, and I thought Twitter for some reason. But you're watching us on YouTube, so thanks for checking us out. There, Cam. The feel like temp in Central Iowa is -17. I don't feel for you. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, nobody.
Yeah, stop
Approximately
complaining.
the temperature in this apartment right now.
No. Nobody's
Jeremy Wilson over here saying he's on a forklift at work in 10-degree weather listening to the show. Man,
Yes,
we gotta
sir.
deliver, man. Eric, you can't. These people are out here in negative temperature, bro. You're fine.
Man.
As I'm in,
We'll
like,
be all right.
as I got the heat blasting right here.
Yeah, I got an event literally straight in front of me. It's amazing. All right, thanks for everybody for checking in out there with your weather forecasts. And Jeremy, stay warm out there. We appreciate you tuning in with us as well. Let's move on to the Miami and Syracuse matchup here. 155-point implied total there. Miami 2-point dogs on the road here. So a couple of teams projected to score in the high 70s. They're going to get up and down. They are going to get up and down, but they play a little defense too. So what's going to win out here? Is this one of those classic games where the defense just goes out the window and it goes over? Might make us want to play this game a little bit more. If you feel like it's going to be right around this total, maybe you just make a play or two. So very efficient teams on both sides and both top 60 teams in tempo, and neither of them use their bench. So we kind of know what we're getting here, and that's why this is an interesting game. So Miami first, Mike, the Hurricanes have a 6-man rotation, and all the starters get heavy minutes. So what do you think about these old Hurricanes?
Yeah, I mean, Norchad, 8,500. Like, who's gonna guard him on Syracuse? I don't know who's gonna guard him. So there's only two ways he's gonna screw me over. He's gonna get into foul trouble, or all the guards around him are gonna shoot 1,000 shots. So kind of like a Soriano deal, but that's for later. But no, on the reals though, I mean, the opponent's shot block rate for Syracuse, it's climbed from 8% to 13% during conference play, so a 5% jump. So yeah, they're getting their shots blocked in conference play, obviously playing tougher competition. Norchad obviously can create stocks. He's got a 37% rebounding rate, a 23% shot rate, 25% usage rate. I mean, he's a double threat, just came off of 41. We know he has 50 upside. I like him as a pivot to Zach Edey, right? Like, Zach Edey, I think, is 10-9. So, I mean, if Edey doesn't have a 50 piece and Omier can get you a 45, you save yourself almost $2,500. So I like Norchad. He is absolutely popping off of our one and done projections here. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to have too much of him. That's more because I kind of know what I'm going to get from him. He's a little more volatile. All these guys are volatile, right? Because you don't know whose day it is, really. And that's kind of the hard part about Miami. But he's going to control the glass for them, so he's always a threat for a nice double-double with stocks. So all these other guys, man, Matthew Cleveland, he's still 7,800. I mean, didn't like him at 8K. I don't like him at 7,800. I mean, he's coming off a 9. That was in a revenge game against Florida State. I mean, so that pricing is still annoying. I don't think you can get to him confidently on this slate. So I'm just crossing him off. Poplar at 7,300. I mean, he was a core piece for us the other day on Wednesday. He came through for us at 34 fantasy points. He's ball dominant, needs to shoot well. Got the bump in price after the 34. Yeah, Jason B, he won you some bread earlier as you passed by me, even though it wasn't Poplar you passed me with because we both had him. He's in the player pool. Bensley Joseph is pretty interesting for tournaments. 6,200. Finally, one of these guys coming down in price, but obviously he has come down in price because Poplar, Pack, Cleveland, Norchad, like he's just kind of the fifth wheel here. Only a 16% shot rate. I mean, for this guy to really explode, he's going to have a lot of stocks. I mean, he's got 3% block rate, 4% steal rate. He shoots 35% from three. So And you can also hand out dimes. So I don't mind it for tournaments, especially, you know, if you're just trying to get a different stack in this game, because I do think this game is going to be popular. Jay had mentioned, you know, it's just the pace, right? Like two teams in the top 60 in tempo. Like it'd just be a lot of 3-pointer shot, a lot of up and down, a lot of putback opportunities. So there's going to be fantasy points galore. The problem is the pricing on the Miami side, as per usual. You can kind of get away with it if Bensley Joseph has one of those games where he goes for 35. Now everything has to go right in that scenario. Nigel Pack for me at 7,600. I don't know, Eric. Like that is, you know, when it was 6K, we were throwing him in our cores, but 7,600 for a guy with, where are all the outs like the other guys, man?
Yeah, I don't know if they're necessarily there, right? Another guy who's seen his price tag go up, you know, largely because of that 42 spot that he put up 2 games ago, which he promptly followed up with a 25, which is my way of saying that Nigel Pack is another boom bust option and way to get into this game, right? It's so tough on this Miami side when everyone's healthy, right? Like anyone's subject to go off on any given night. With Pack specifically, you don't like the price increase because of that upside. Like he's legitimately a tournament play on tomorrow's slate, right? You know, along with Bensley Joseph, he's tied among the players that we've talked about with the highest assist rate. So if you're looking for a creative way to stack this game, I don't think anybody's going to be spending, you know, 15K plus on 2 guys in the Miami side. So paying up and stacking with Pack is a kind of an interesting line, but I mean, it's not without his risk, right? Those 25s and 20 burgers are out there just as frequently as his 42s and 38s.
Feels like everybody's going to go to Poplar, Jay. Like he's coming off the big game. His price is right, and everyone's going to go to him. He was 40% last slate at 6,800 or something like that. So I don't know, Jay. What if you had to pick one of these guys, man? What are you doing? You spending up? What are you doing?
It's one of those weird things where I don't want to be like earlier. I wanted to be in the 40 or 50% of people that had a player. I don't know that I want Poplar tomorrow. I don't know if I'm feeling that back-to-back juice. I don't know that.
It's like spin the wheel with these guys, right?
Yeah, and I'm just not. Poplar's not a guy that I'm going to be heavy on tomorrow. Just I'm not in on that. You guys know I've gushed about Matthew Cleveland, and I still don't know how he just went in state to Miami. Like I don't know the heist of the century, as I like to say. I really think highly of Cleveland, but
one of these guys are probably going to be on the opto.
Get, you know, so I don't think that. I think Cleveland is going to be one of those great contrarian plays, and not a lot of people are going to be in on him. I don't think
2-3%. Yeah.
So Cleveland's good if you're getting different and you're getting another entry in that $1, you know, or your max entry in there or something like that. You know, I'm in on Cleveland, but to make a long story short, it's Norchad.
Yeah, I mean, right? Like,
yeah,
it feels like it.
It does. It does feel like it. Syracuse now, solid 8-man rotation. I'm jumping right back to Eric the Blue here, and that's not just because he's cold and that's the color of his lips. What are we doing with the Orangemen?
Yeah, for me with Syracuse, I think the primary strategy is either going all the way up or all the way down. So all the way up in this case means Judah Mintz, 7.5K. I mean, he's just way too cheap at this price, right? His rates are insane. He's got 35, 45 point upside on any given slate. And in particular with this matchup, right? Like Miami D is one of the worst in the country in opponent 3-point rate. So, you know, Syracuse should get off a few more shots from downtown. Mintz is shooting 36% above the Heinrich line, right? So gets a little bit of a boost there. Also, Miami's opponent assist rate is over 50%, right? So Mintz comes in with a 24% assist rate on this team. So, you know, another thing that is swinging in his favor. I mean, you can play him in cash, you can play him in tourney, right? Like, according to our one and done projections, he's one of the top players on the board tomorrow. So a lot to like about how this one sets up for Mintz. And then on the other side, I mentioned going all the way down. You know, I'm kind of interested in Benny Williams at 4.7K.
Hot take.
Yes, sir. Right. Like he's always interesting in tourneys, right? He's a guy that can, mess around and go get 30 out of nowhere. He's one of these big fantasy points per minutes guys, right? Like you looking at his game logs, he's in the high teens. Occasionally he'll reach into the 20s, and he's still pretty consistently right around a fantasy point per minute or more. So, a little bit of value, kind of like upper echelon value in the high 4K range. But the rates are super solid for a guy that's playing limited minutes. The volatility obviously comes with that. But I think he's an interesting large field stacking partner for mints, or just in general, if you're looking for a way to stack this game and not have to break the bank for it. Benny Williams certainly fits that bill.
What's crazy, Eric? Benny Williams, I had him on the slate when they played Pittsburgh. I mean, I think I had him at 1%. You think he put up like 27 or something like that? Like if Malik Brown or one of these guys gets into foul trouble early, which Norchad is obviously, and these guys that drive hard for Miami. One of those guys in the front court gets into foul trouble. Chris Bell, who's kind of interesting too. He's popping a little bit on our projections. Benny Williams can come in here and do some damage. And I think Cam earlier in the year was like, we've been kind of like, when's it going to happen? Like it'll happen every now and then, right? I just think you're right. Like he's just a weird stacking partner with like a Judah Mintz, who should be super, super popular. But I like that call. Chris Bell is kind of interesting as well. If you don't want the crazy volatility, well, Chris Bell's still volatile, but the minutes just aren't quite. Look at Cam jumping in here saying, "I promise I'm over the field on Benny Williams for the season," and that's not a good thing. Cam, he put up. I mean, come on, like. There is a world where one of Bell or Benny Williams could go off. Like, obviously, Benny needs the minutes. Like, he doesn't, he plays high teens, right? All it takes is foul trouble or something wonky in the game to happen, and he could put up 25. Same thing with Chris Bell. He needs to make his threes, but I think it's Judah Mintz or bust. For the safest option and the option with the most upside. I mean, Malik Brown. I mean, he's 7,300. I don't pay this price for guys with a 14% usage, a 15% shot rate. I don't care how many block shots you get, how many steals you get. It's just not. I'm not going to pay 7,300, and he's still being carried by that 51 spot that he got. So it's not for me. He's more of a 6K player, 5,500 player. Quadir Copeland at 6,400. I mean, he's being carried by the 45 he had 4 games ago or 5 games ago or whatever it is. I mean, he's $1,000 overpriced. I don't like, none of these guys are interesting. JJ Starling finally played big minutes again. He's 5,300, but he shot dependent, and we don't know if he's going to get minutes in the 30s again. So I mean, he's a crazy tournament option. I don't know. Like this game is there's going to be a lot of fantasy points scored in this game, but I don't know that you want to completely overload this game, man. Like maybe a 2-1, obviously being Mintz, and then could get away with 2 Miami guys, Jay. But I mean, for me, it's Mintz almost on 50% of my lineups, and then I'm going with some Omier, some Poplar. But yeah, it's not a game that I'm overly excited about, even though I know it's fantasy goodness in this one.
Yeah. So who's gonna be owned at a higher rate? We're gonna go Mintz. Or what were we talking about earlier that
New Connect?
Going back and forth about Connect. Who's gonna be higher owned?
I think it's gonna be close, man. Both of those guys are gonna be crazy high owned, I think. So I think for cash games,
right?
Yeah, geez, yeah, people are gonna see that game log and just.
I mean, he's coming off of 50 spots, right? You gonna spend the extra $400 for that?
It only cost you $400 more to take another 7x.
Right?
I mean, honestly, that's a fair point, though.
People chase, right? It's the nature of the game.
I am people. I am people chase. I am people.
Yeah. You chase a thing that he's just doing consistently.
Yeah,
right.
I'm willing to. And even though Jason B says that I hate money because I'm not on Wooga tomorrow, that's okay. That's all right, Jason. I understand. And as a matter of fact, I don't really like money. You're right. I don't.
William's
apparently.
Been due for weeks.
Yeah. Sooner or later, guys, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Don't you think? You're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, Sam calling his shot about Auburn getting that dub tomorrow.
Plant that flag.
Yeah, plant it. Oh, piss. Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Keep the chat rolling, gentlemen and ladies. I'm sure there's some ladies out there that just haven't joined in the chat, but we're all friendly. Hop in there. It's cool. Say hi to us, and we would love to hear from you, as well as everybody, all the broskies and broskets in basketball hanging out with your boys tonight. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons and show us some love. Show us some love in the chat like you've been doing. And if you're watching tomorrow morning, honestly, if you're watching on the East Coast, it's already tomorrow. So, we'll one and done after dark, like we were saying. But if you're watching Saturday morning or with a nice cup of coffee, leave us a comment anyway and let us know that you're there. We appreciate you. Let's hit that Marquette and St. John's game. Oh, this one is going to be fun to watch. Marquette, 32nd offensive efficiency, 14th defensive efficiency, 73rd in tempo. St. John's, I got to squint, 36th in offensive efficiency, 54th in defensive, and 80th in tempo. This is one just for the eyes that as a college basketball fan, with the 1 point spread here, 153 point projected total. Marquette away favorites. What's the road favorites? That's the word.
Road.
And those Marquette, those Fighting Shaka Smarts, Mike, rolling with that soft 8-man rotation these days. But we know that their big three are playing 35 plus.
Yeah, they have to right now. A couple of key injuries, and then guess what? Marquette's struggling just a little bit in conference play, but hey, it's a tough Big East. Tyler Kolek, 8,700. He's got upside. He's got 45 to 50 upside, but he's more tournament this year than a cash play, just because he's been so volatile. It's been kind of weird to see. He was pretty consistent last year, but with this tempo, man, I'm expecting him to have a real nice game. He's a guy that can rack up steals and assists for upside. He's shooting the ball a little bit more right now, so that's always nice. You got Eric's guy Oso over here, Oso Iguodaro. He's 8,100. What the hell happened here? It's because the last 3 to 4 games he's gone basically 29 or more, and 2 of them he had 40 pieces. So yeah, he stepped it up, but that's a tough price to pay. You got old Soriano on the other side. I expect him to play more than the 13 minutes he played the other day. So me, Oso, I guess in a tournament. I'm not going to do it. Cam Jones at 7,000. Almost a 30% shot rate. That's crazy, right? Shaka's just going to run these 3 guys into the ground. He's going to ride them, and these guys have to produce for them. Their depth's taking the hit. They don't play many guys right now. I think they're, what were they, on the season? They're 191st in bench minutes. But honestly, if you looked at the last, 3-4 games, they're probably closer to the 300. So, I like the big 3. If I had to play one, obviously it's probably Cam Jones because of the price. Cole's probably 2, and then Oso's probably 3 just because of his matchup. These other guys, Eric, David Joplin, Ben Gold, are really the only guys can see it. Stevie Mitchell, but he's not doing anything at his price. What are you doing with any of those guys?
Yeah, there's a pretty clear tier break between the 3 you talked about and everyone else, right? The closest to those 3, they start with David Joplin, right? He's still not a preferred option, but if you want a way to stack this game, Joplin is a way to be different, right? If he hits his threes, he can get pretty close to 30. So he's shooting at a good enough rate, 38% in that regard. He's taking enough of them, 89 attempts on the season, but the price increase kind of minimizes his upside, and just really all of his rates are like I said, kind of a tier down from the 3 you talked about. Ben Gold is probably the cheapest way to get into the Marquette side, but even still, not something that I'm really making a huge priority, right? 4.4K. He's kind of the only other guy that's getting any significant run off the bench right now. His rates are okay given the limited minutes that he's in there. Specifically, 26% rebounding is pretty nice for a bench guy. But I mean, those limited minutes are going to, make him a little bit volatile. So, if really you're looking at a world where like Joplin or Iguodala are having to get into foul trouble pretty early in order to feel great about gold. And even then, like there's a few different rotations that this team can roll out to where it doesn't all just kind of land on his plate, right? So kind of like I said, Joplin and Gold, like they're there. There are ways to, kind of drop in if you're trying to get weird, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get him in.
Understandable. Let's hit that comments section real quick. That old live chat. We all the way up. Yeah, Cam dropping in connect our own. It's a coin flip for me, guys. Honestly, why is Ledlum so cheap? We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a second. I wish I could, quit. I got a lot of guys that I wish I could quit. Mama Rocks, for sure. And that's just on a Tuesday. No, I'm kidding. Then Johnny K, Dingo's still out. Yeah. So honestly, yeah, in terms of that game, and then M Money in there. Supposedly there was a sickness going around the St. John's locker room, and that's why Soriano barely played.
Well, went around my lineups that day too. So.
Well, hey, listen up, guys. We're going to talk about Soriano. We're going to talk about Ledlum. Let's jump right in to the old Johnnies here. Consistency wise, Dennis Jenkins and Dennis Jenkins.
Yeah. I hate this team. I thought Rick Pitino was supposed to change this, Eric. You promised me there would be changes here, and it's more of the same as what we complained about last year. But now this year, we don't have Soriano for 34 minutes and a bunch of shots. Anyway, man, I didn't want this game to be on the showcase, but Jay insisted that he wanted to put me on tilt for the show. So here we are. And so Dennis Jenkins at 7,600. I mean, what are you going to say? He's got great rates. I mean, he's got 35 to 40 fantasy point upside. But it's Soriano, man. He's 7,500. He's averaging 34 fantasy points, per game. What do we do? I don't know, man. He's got to play 30, 32 minutes in this one. And if he does, you're going to want to have him because guess what? What happens to bigs, Eric, when they play Marquette?
To the moon, baby.
They go to the moon. To the moon. They put up ridiculous amount of fantasy points, but he's a tournament option because he's so volatile. And I don't really care about the rest of these people. I don't – you talk about these guys, man. I'm just so fed up with St. John's right now, Eric. Why don't you take the reins here, man?
Doesn't care about the rest of these people. The part of the dissension that you hear in Mike's voice is that this was a St. John's team that we just kept going back to the well on last year because while they played a larger rotation than we wanted, they were terrible defensively. They played at a crazy fast pace, and this year they're still playing that big rotation, but they got a little bit better on the defensive side. They're not playing quite as fast, so we're just a little disillusioned with the wonderment of these Johnnies. But the rest of the team, RJ Lewis, I don't know why he's the third most expensive player on the St. John side. You can't play him. This decline is just so stark and very clearly a trend, right? Really with a lot of these guys, you can't feel great about playing many of them, but specifically Lewis at this price tag and with the trend that he's on, I don't see how you click the button. The aforementioned Chris Ledlum, though, I mean, he's kind of getting to that price point where he's getting pretty interesting again, right? Look, I think he's probably worth a shot is probably the best way to put it. We love the guard forward eligibility, right? Mm-hmm. His rates are awesome. In specifically, you look at that game where they blew out their opponent. He got back in 28 minutes. that's really what you're looking for from these, 6K flat kind of guys. So I should say that Ledlum is definitively a tournament play, right? Like you're looking for that 30, 35 point that can, really vault you up the pay scale. But I mean, his game log looks as rough as anyone else's, right? 15, 17, 11 over these last 3. Like you're definitely bringing some volatility onto your roster. So, proceed with caution. But if we're playing the Johnny's side tomorrow, I think I might be okay clicking Ledlum's name.
Yeah, why not, man? I mean, what's he been at? At 6K? Why? I mean, I'm willing to pay for that volatility at 6K flat. No need to worry. My accountant handles that.
Oh my, Jay, when I'm freaking 80% Soriano and 20% Ledlum, I'll let you know how it goes.
Love it.
Jesus,
Love
man.
it.
I like Mama Rocks, dude. Coming in.
Mama Rocks did have
Build
that
him
on
up.
someone in the old WAD attorney, the old one and done, and would have won it with a drop of anything from Soriano. Yep. Thus the disdain.
Ooh, RJ Lewis, just like Benny Williams, due for that breakout any day now.
Any day now.
I mean,
any day.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about St. John's anymore. But
you sure?
Anyway,
we can hang around here all day long. I mean,
what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Naheem Aline? Is that what you want to do?
No,
we just have to say.
I would rather not. Yeah. Well, are we contractually obligated? I think maybe to say.
I don't think so, man. Well, I gotta be nice because we're hoping to get an interview with them. So I can't be over here pissed off. So
well, you can't
clean it up.
I mean, I understand why. I mean, feelings are feelings, and sometimes we need to let them out. Okay, and that's okay. And we need to do it in the live
got big
chat.
Feelings.
Make sure you're letting out your feelings in the live chat tonight with your broskies. And let us know how you're doing. It sounds like Ledlum's ankle is good, according to Johnny K in the live chat. So,
is it good enough for 35 fantasy points?
You know what the answer is to that.
Is this St. Johnny K? Do we have insider information here?
St. Johnny K, man. Johnny K.
Johnny K. K is Johnny Einhorn Finkel. Einhorn. Oh, no. Wait. All right. Something like that. Make sure we keep that live chat rolling and hit those like and subscribe buttons. We appreciate hearing from the first timers. I have no clue. Yeah, I mean, if we knew, I mean, I'm gonna be pushing that button too much anyway. Chase Therapy Hour. Welcome in to the calming.
Anybody guess what's in my red Solo cup?
Are you gonna sing a country song right now, or no?
No, I just had to drink the rest of it because we're talking St. John's.
Solo cup. I don't blame you. You got the Di Serono tonight or what?
Cup.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be hungover for lock.
No.
So I'll end up with 50% Ledlum.
Yeah, well, that might not be a bad idea. Who knows? But either way, we're going to move on now through the showcase. Purdue traveling to Iowa. The Fighting Zach Edey's are 7-point favorites on the road. 169 point total. Nice. You love that. 88 points projected for Purdue, 81 for Iowa. Another one. We've been saying this, and this is that time of the year, right, where every week there's just basketball games that we actually like. Not that we don't want to watch college basketball, because we do. We watch a ton of it. But these are the games that you can really sit down and sink your teeth into, whether you're playing Zach Edey like Mike likes to do at 10.8K. Ooh, wait, what? But if you're doing that or not here, even though they do have that 8-man rotation, Mike. So tell us how much you're playing Zach Edey. And
this is not my best show.
Oh, no.
Well, I got a bunch of new people watching, and they're like, who the hell is this guy?
No, really.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like 10-8. I don't know. I mean, I talked everyone out of it. Okay. Full stop here. Like, we're popping on the clear out the paint here. We were talking about Diarra and all these guys on Wednesday. No, don't. God, it's a production team, man. All right. I'm not even going to go into that story now. Just get me off of this thing. Look, Zach Edey, I'm only going to play 10 to 15% of him. I don't like paying guys for 10-8. Yes, the matchup, it is a dream matchup.
He's going to score 60. He's going to have 60 fantasy points, and you know it.
I mean, he had 55 in 24 minutes at 11.5 at home in 24 minutes against these guys. Everyone's going to try to play him. Like, I mean, it's on the road, so hopefully it's not it's not a blowout, but even if it's not a blowout, he's going to play like 32 minutes and he's going to put up 700 points. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess I'll play him in some tournaments, and he's a cash game like lock. I don't know, man. Like, it's just one of those things. I'd rather talk about Braden Smith. He's 7,700. He hasn't done anything in like the last 2 weeks. And at this price, like at some point, I mean, the rates are just too good. Like for a guard, I mean, 18% rebounding rate to go along with a 37% assist rate and a 3% steal rate, shooting 43% from three. I mean, come on. Like, he's not producing right now at this price point, but for tournaments, like, I could see it. And actually, Purdue's okay for hard stacking some of these expensive dudes. Like, I don't mind it at all. I mean, Lance Jones, 6K. I mean, he's been 25 and 25 in the last two. I mean, he's a little more shot dependent, but he's kind of popping on our projections. And I don't know, it's Iowa, dude. Like, it's just they play so fast. And, you know, when you're second in offensive efficiency and you're going against the team with the 6th rated tempo, like, there should be 900 points scored in this game, fantasy points scored on this side. So you can play anybody and everybody, really. And when I say that, I mean 4 guys on Purdue, because the 4-man spot is basically a revolving rotation of 6 dudes, Eric. So I don't know. Talk about your boy Fletcher Lawyer, because I know Corey McDaniel the other day had him when he went for his 28 piece at like 5,200. So talk to people into some Lawyer.
Corey's just got a nose for when these randos are about to bank like a 25 spot. He was on Lawyer in that right game. Look, the thing with Fletch is like he's always going to be a tournament option at, you know, especially around this price tag. Super shot dependent is the knock against him, but I mean his rate supported that, you know, if this is the night where they go through, he can definitely pay off 5.5K. I think more than anything, like, Lawyer really looks more like a stacking option with Edie. You know, you don't mind his 12% assist rate, or if you want to get real weird, you could probably go like a triple stack with Edie and Lawyer and Smith, and probably be one of like 2 people in the entire field that has that combination.
They all kind of play with each other too. Like, Edie can get his with Smith, assisting to Lawyer. It could happen. So
that's why you like playing this team. I mean, because everybody's going to get theirs, and then Zachy's going to get 8,000. But everybody's going to get theirs. It just happens to be.
And so what ends up happening, right? Everyone selects.
Bazillion.
So everyone takes Edie, right, at 10-8, and then everyone picks Dalton Connect into their lineup, right? So Mama Rock's asking a good question. What value do you play with them? So if you play those 2 guys, your average salary for the last 6 spots is $5,217. So, like, it's not I don't know. Like, you have to nail this value, and this value is terrifying.
It's gross.
Terrifying. We'll talk about it here in just a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. It's a good point, Mama Rocks. Like, it makes it hard playing one of them. Obviously, I think you have to play one of them on every lineup, maybe. So I don't know. So,
and that's going to be who picks the right one is going to be in the top of that. Get that 2K, probably whoever guesses right, and you might have to just run it through with all these guys at least once. And like Eric, like you were saying, if you want to get crazy and stack it up, and, you know, are you trying to win $2 or 2K, right? So
even if you put Lawyer in that Connect and Edie, you're still over the average salary, like, because Lawyer's 55. You can't even get the game stack in there without decreasing your. That's how expensive these guys. Well, I mean, just playing those 2 guys together, which is what everyone's going to try to do, I think.
Well, again, we're going to hit on some value later on in the show. We're almost to that point where we're going to hit those tiers and give you some value plays here, but it's going to be worth a shot. You know, we're going to get in and we're going to work on some of these lineups and try to get weird a little bit, be different, and try to win 10K or 2K, tomorrow. But let's get to Iowa here. Eric, I'm coming back to you. 8 or 9 man rotation ish, if a little back and forth there, sort of depending on the night. So is Iowa as intriguing to you as Purdue was to all of us on the other side of the court?
Not really. Well, I mean, Iowa's like it's kind of like a process of elimination, right? You mentioned that 8 to 9 man rotation. I mean, this is a team that's coming in as 92nd in bench minutes, right? So just a ton of guys getting a good amount of minutes out there. Owen Freeman is there. He feels like a pretty clear fade. Yeah, like it's crazy, and it's up a ton. Like it feels like every time we're turning around, this guy's number is going up. 8.3K now. I mean, the price is gross. You don't like it for that fact, but also he gets the Edey matchup. Like this is arguably one of the worst spots of the year for him. So he feels like a pretty clear fade for me. If I want to get into the Iowa forward business, we can look at Peyton Sanford, 7.8K. So you're getting a little bit of salary savings. He's probably the guy I would take a shot on, right? Like they're at home. He shoots a ton, especially from three, 118 attempts on the season, almost shooting 40% there, right? Like, any chance that this Iowa team pulls the upset, they're probably going to need a pretty big game from him. So he's probably the one that I feel best about, but it's still very much so taking a shot. So Mike, any of these other Hawkeyes that you feel a bit better about or just kind of have some thoughts on in general?
Yeah, this side is ugly from a pricing standpoint.
Right.
Jay, look at this, like Ben Krikke, like 7,900. I don't want to pay 8K for him in this spot. Tony Perkins, 7,700.
No. Dude, Freeman was 6.5 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's not Luka Garza, Cam, like you said, man. Garza, Murray, now Freeman, kid's a boss at 8,500. Woof, yeah. Woof. I don't know if you can play anybody from Iowa. I think was it Mama Rocks earlier that was talking about Josh Dix. Like if McCaffrey's out, at 5,600, I don't know that I want to play Josh Dix against Purdue. I mean, we came on and said the other day, fade Kello Ware and Malik Renew. We said that it might be okay to play one of them. Well, both of them sucked. So like, I don't know. I don't have any. Like, even if these guys were all $1,000 cheaper, I don't know that I would want to play them. Is the way I look at it, right, Jay? Like, if Owen Freeman's 7,300, are you like? If
I would
maybe Sanford at 1,000. Well, yeah, I mean
Sanford under 7K. Yeah,
maybe even take a shot at Perkins, but you just don't feel great about it. Like, I don't know. So that's just the way I'm looking at it. I just the Iowa side, it's kind of meh for me. I could go 2-0 on the Purdue side. Like, give me Lawyer and Edey, or give me Edey and Smith together, and like, let's take a shot at some of these value plays. You know what I'm saying? We got some more comments coming through. What do we got? Got a new name here, Ryan Schnabel. Hopefully, I said that right. Apologize if we didn't. Fading Connect. Whoa, Fading Connect and Edey tomorrow.
This guy gets it.
Dude, you are going to win everything if
that guy's CBBs.
Or he's going to have a nice little Saturday. Hit up Home Depot.
Yeah. Either
or.
Have an early day or the best day. I like it. Again, we talk about getting different here all the time and how to do it.
Is it possible, Jay, to do that, though?
I don't. Apparently, Ryan's going to do it. I mean,
Connect's getting faced up, and then Edey's like perfect matchup.
Yeah, Edey might score 70. Like, I don't even care. Like, it's going to be nuts. And Cam, from an Iowa fan, being from Iowa and an Iowa fan, Dix hit the ceiling last game. Yeah, it's hard.
The price is up too.
It's hard to get past it.
Schnabel,
it's hard to get past the price.
He's got the Eric response.
He's not getting there again.
It's all about GPP, boys. Yeah, you're talking. Yeah. Look at me, Dingle. I mean, not Dingle, Ledlum right here.
Yeah. Good stuff, Ryan and Cam. Thanks for hopping
welcome
in.
Home,
Keep
Ryan.
Going. Yeah, welcome home, my guy. Good to see you, fellow breadhead. Hit those like and subscribe buttons, everybody. If you haven't, tell the breadheads in your life about us. Those are the showcase games that we told you about. Let's get now to the old tiers. Not the tears that Indiana fans cried tonight.
Not
again,
20 straight tears running down my cheeks.
No, not those either. 20 straight losses at Wisconsin. How does that even a thing? But apparently it is. And like I like to do, because you guys, get all the run. I'm going first on the tiers. Okay, I'm going first. Me. On the high.
My turn.
And here, I have the microphone. Yeah, it's my turn. You said it was going to be my turn. That is one of the most.
You should have slapped the desk there.
That is one of the. I got a kid asleep. down the hallway here. Like my singing and yelling is bad enough. Me banging around in here, I don't know if I should. I mean, not like I don't anyway. But the point is, that's one of the most embarrassing things that's ever been on television. But anyways, hi, one play and one fade in the high tier. I'm going first, and we're playing Kevin Miller from Wake against Louisville. This is smash spot. We know Louisville's defense is like the old Swiss cheese. It's got holes in it. Wake plays their starters big minutes. One or two of these guys is going off. So especially for tournaments, I'm all over Kevin Miller at 7.9K. And then I don't like saying this. This is not a feel-good moment for me, but I feel like 8.5K for Kadarius Richmond against Creighton. I gotta fade somebody in this tier, and in this price range, Kolek, Omier, even Shireman around him, and maybe even going down to connect at 7.9. So I'm gonna fade Richmond, but I'm all over Kevin Miller in this high tier. And again, we're not living in Zach Edey world here at 7.9, but who knows? You're not gonna, and you're also not gonna get 85 fantasy points like you will from Edey out of Miller. But it's a pretty good play for the value. Eric, coming to you next. Give me a play and a fade.
I will play Sean Padula, 7.7K, the guard for Virginia Tech. I mean, this is kind of one of these, like, I won't say a core play, but like a foundational play. Just a dude that's like totally popping in the one and done projections. His matchup is okay, right? That's probably what is keeping him from being a lock, but he should play 35 plus minutes, high usage rate, high shot rate. You're just nice, like steady, foundational play, get those points into your lineup and keep it moving. Probably lean a little bit more towards him in cash, but rock solid play nonetheless. For my fade, I'm going to go to Tremont Mark. Really this is more of a functional decision, right? Like, he's going to be popular. He's coming in off of a 47 and a 48 in two of his last three. So, anytime that someone's going to be chalky, I always take a bit of a longer look at coming in underweight, if not fading them outright. But also, like, I think there's some good salary saving spots on Arkansas. So where I'm playing Razorbacks, I'm probably going to be looking to save a bit of money, and that just doesn't fit all that well with dropping 7.5K on Mark. So those are the two for me. Mike, close us out with your play.
Yeah, I'll go with old Bruce Thornton. He's 7,600. Old Bruce with it. 7,600 against Penn State. I mean, guy just plays every minute. Nice rates across the board. OSU, I mean, they're the Ohio State in need of a conference win here for sure. So don't mind Thornton at 7,600. I'm gonna fade my guy down here in the ATX. I'm gonna fade Max A. Smith at 8,100 against Baylor. More so kind of like what Jay was saying. Like, it's not that I hate the spot, right? Like, kind of like you saying for Kadarius. It just doesn't. There's just other guys. Like, I'm not gonna. I would rather save $200 and play Connect. Like, I don't. So it's hard to get to what's gonna make these guys super, contrarian in these spots. So I don't know. Texas needs this one against Baylor, but I don't know that I want to pay 8,100 for A. Smith. There's other plays on Texas that we're going to talk about here in just a minute that I think that we need to get to. Even though he's playing 40 minutes a game, he's a good leverage piece. I'm just not going to go to it. I'll let somebody else beat me with that play.
First of all, how dare you, right after Max A. Smith passes Larry Legend on the all-time college scoring list? How dare you? Brad, I get it at 8.1 against your Baylor Bears. I understand. Ryan in that chat saying he's played DFS for a minute, but new to betting college basketball. Thanks for the stream, fellas. We appreciate you for doing that, Ryan. And if you're just into those lines and numbers and stuff like that, we're going to hit some big bets at the very end of the show if you stick around. So, yeah, we do the DFS stuff, and then Mike's going to give you his best bets of the day tomorrow as well. So that is what we are going to end on, but we are still in our tiers, and we're going to go to the mid-tier, which is 5.1 to 7.4K. And, yes, Trey Alexander at 7K flat against Seton Hall. Now, this is usually I'm like playing. I am Mike in the high tier, maybe with Alexander. So, but the price has tumbled a little bit now, which is what I like when I like to jump on that train. The rates are still there, obviously, and he's going to play over 35, 36 minutes. You can, put your hat on that. And so give me Alexander there at this price. Javian McCollum, the Oklahoma Sooner, 7.1 at Cincinnati. Tough road game against the Bearcats, and the upside that was there that I liked before with the price up above 7K now. It sort of sucks a little bit of that, pulls it out, saps it out a little bit, some of the excitement. So no McCollum for me. Eric, right back to you here after, for some reason, Mike decided he hates Max Asmus as a player in general, probably as a person too. But I'm going to come to you. No, that's not true. That's not true. Eric, give us your mid play and fade.
I'm gonna draw a little ire from Mike here, going against his Baylor Bears. My play is Dylan Dessou, 6.6K. Like, I mean, this dude was randomly thrust into the starting lineup a few slates ago. Delivered a 50 burger, followed up with a 30 in this last game. 12 and a half points, not exactly what you're looking for, but I mean, really, with the role that he's playing here in this current rendition of the Longhorns, like, he should be getting 30 plus minutes in this spot. He's clearly got 35, 40, 50 point upside as evidenced by his game log, right? Like, he's too cheap at this price tag given his upside. So, for me, kind of underscores Mike's point about fading Asmus. I would much rather get to Dessou if I'm playing any Longhorns. And then for my fade, I'm going to go over to Lynn Kidd, 6.4K, kind of following the same logic, right? Like, I'm going to be playing more Padula where I'm playing Virginia Tech. So, part of the issue with Kidd is just like his role and his minutes really seem to be on the decline. 16 minutes in that last game is not going to cut it, right? So, like, because of that, his price is falling, not to a point where I think I'm ready to get back on. It's just, if this price keeps moving in this direction, there will be a breaking point where I feel better about it. But 6.4K just ain't it for me. So, Kid's hitting the bench for me. Mike, who you eyeballing here in this mid tier?
Yeah, I like me some Hunter Salas, of course. Like, I think I mentioned him pretty much. This is just play the tape. Wake's implied for 85 points against Louisville. I mean, all of them have 35 to 40 upside. I mean, if Louisville somehow keeps it close, Jay said 1 to 2, like 4 guys might go off in this Wake side. So, like their pricing, I'll fade Dan Skillings, 6,400 against Oklahoma. I get that his minutes are up. I don't love the price, and Day-Day's looking pretty good. Lukosius takes a lot of shots. I don't know. It's just not for me. I'm going to fade Dan Skillings at 6,400, even though he's on back-to-back 30s. So, Jay, let's hop on some low plays, and I do like Max Asmus. Okay.
Yes, I know you do. But first
Loves
of all, do you want to pay 7.9 for Kevin Miller, or do you want to pay 7.3 for Salas?
Oh,
it's $600 difference there, and I like both players. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just rotated. I don't know if I'd play them together, but
that'd be tough.
Yeah, I like Miller because there's no one everyone will pay. I don't say everyone will pay for Salas, but in this question, right? People are gonna say Salas, right? Which makes me like Miller for tournaments more.
Right.
So
yep.
I was going along those exact same lines. I was going to say Miller because I assume the salary relief is going to draw people towards Salas. But as we have come to learn as gospel, nobody plays Wake on any of these slates. So you're not really going to be creating a bunch of leverage by saving a bit of ownership by going down to Salas.
Good point. All right, good stuff. Yeah, let's get to the low tier. We're only going to give you plays here, and I'm going back to the DRL. I'm not letting you guys get to him. Jumping back on Mo, 4.5 against VTech here. Absolutely crushed for us last game, Mike. Like you said, it was like 10% in the big tournament and then like 40% in the one and done invitational, which is understandable. Price is up, but I think you like where the roll's headed, which you can see where the consistency is going to get. So I'm making sure I'm hopping in on DR before he's 5,200, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that right now. Even though you love the rebounding, you love the blocks. Another 20+ minutes coming his way, Mike and Eric, who I'm going to go to here. Eric, back to you, dude. What do you got in the low tier?
I'll keep the Longhorn love alive. Ethel Horton. He got inserted back into that starting lineup, and he hurt a who. He went for 30 fantasy points in those 37 minutes, right? So going to ride that train while he's still inexplicably 4.5K. I mean, yes, he's come up $800 from, being in the mid threes, but he's got a long way to climb in terms of salary before, we're jumping off the train. So you like the way he plays, right? He takes a ton of threes. If he's going to be out there for, 30+ minutes, those going through are really going to go a long way at the price tag. So
Horton,
go with Horton,
sir,
Mike.
Sir,
Yes,
if you weren't doing the tournament core later on coming up right now, I would say to get out. Because Horton here is actually I'm just mad.
I'm dead. What about the Rodney Terry, Jay? What are your thoughts on that?
Mike's playing the heel right now because his burnt orange blood runs deeper than mine. And he's mad because I got him charged up earlier on in the show. And now he knows that mentioning Rodney Terry, I am well documented on this show as saying Rodney Terry was not the guy for this job. And I mean, okay.
But what did you think about that though, Jay?
I shook my head. I didn't even want to bring it up.
That's classic.
No, listen, here's the deal. Terry was soft about that. He shouldn't have brought that up in the post. That was so soft. It's off. It's a bad look to bring that up to those players. He's showing that he's not the right person to be the coach at the University of Texas. We'll see. An overreaction Friday here. Maybe that he's not even a year through his contract. His first year of his contract. But no, this is not. I've been noted as being against him. Mike, give us your low tier so we can get to the core and get these people out of here.
All right, Ellis, the guard from Arkansas at 3,800 versus South Carolina, or Jay.
You son of.
How about Lawson, Arkansas, 3,700? A little.
I was waiting.
I wasn't going to go through the tiers without doing that. This is probably a trap. So Ellis played 32 minutes last game. I don't know what Musselman's going to do. It's a trap. But they won the last game against the Aggies, so you think you'd probably run the same rotation? I don't know. But Lawson at forward at 3,700, I mean, he's kind of in the same situation. They're both popping all over our projections, and it's going to be – this is the part where I was talking about it's terrifying. So Ellis or Chandler Lawson. So that's what we got for you guys.
Where else are you going to find value?
Good luck with that.
Nowhere. You're not going to find it anywhere. I like Lawson out of those two. All right, Core Four time. Core Four and more for Cam. Rodney Terry is Cam, we're on the same page there, my guy. Like, it is what it is. Like, just all right. Let's move on before
Good thing I'm a Baylor Bear fan.
Yeah, Mike's Baylor Bears. Okay, Ryan, we know you've been, I don't know how many episodes you watch. I don't know how deep you're into it. Again, Mike's Baylor Bears, we like to give him a hard time. So when he sees them doing the horns down and stuff like that, that's, he's not that guy. Hey, you're not that guy, Mike. You're not that guy.
I'm him.
You are him. You are him. Let's get to the core fours and get out of here after the cores and Mike's bets. I am going to take the cash core tonight. Judah Mintz at 7.5K. Yes, Zach Edey has to be. He's all over your cash game core four. Even at 10.8, you got to put him in. So Mintz, Edey. Yes, Horton does hear himself into the cash core four as well at 4.5. And then Hunter Salas, okay, it will make it work for the cash core four here at 7.3. So 49.75 left. A little bit of work to do here. So look at those low tier plays that we gave you. Gonna have to get a little bit tricky with it. and see what you can do. But those are, even if you're not playing all 4 of those guys in your cash lineups, they should be an absolute heavy rotation in your cash games. And the only reason that we didn't kick Eric off for the Horton Here's a Who line, even though I just copied it, the tournament core goes to Eric tonight. What do you got?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of like the inverse of what we just talked through with the cash game lineup, right? Like, where we got to try to find a little bit more upside, and in turn, we got to find a bit more value to pull that off. For me, it starts out with Norchad Omier, right? Like, taking a stand. He's probably the pivot off of Zach Edey, playing very well in his own regard. So don't mind going there at 8.5K. The alternative Arkansas value guys, L. Ellis at 3.8, Chandler Lawson at 3.7. I'll put Ellis in here just for shiggles. Kevin Miller, like we talked about, he's going to be a little bit less owned, assumedly, because of that price tag. And then lastly, but certainly not least, our guy Trey Alexander, ride the roller coaster one more time. 7K flat. This gives you a bit more salary to work with. 5.7K remaining if you go with Ellis. Get that to 5.8K per remaining if you go with Chandler Lawson. But these guys, like, they've got upside in their own regard, and I think they're going to be largely a bit overlooked. So, like, getting some leverage with this core 4.
Can you play both of those Arkansas guys in the lineup?
Yeah, it's going to be terrifying.
That's what we're talking about here, though, right? Like how like out there this value is. So it's almost like worth taking a shot at it. They're going to play.
Yeah, you think?
They're going to play. I mean,
maybe.
Probably.
What's Musselman going to do, dude? Like, oh man,
just take his shirt off.
Twist around your head, spin like a helicopter. There's your core 4s, and we did the cores because Mike, the OG Money Mike, is dishing out his best bets of the night to take us out here. So, Mike, as of whatever time we were supposed to start, the second time, third time, whenever it was, after midnight here, Central Time now, what are your best bets?
Welcome to Saturday.
Welcome to Saturday. Miami +2 or the money line against Syracuse. I don't get it. I get that Miami lost to Louisville, but I don't care. I'm taking that bet all day. Arkansas, I think they handle business. -2 against a tough South Carolina team, but Arkansas is at home. I think they're going to pull this one off. They just beat the Aggies by a point. I think it's a little bit softer matchup. So, South Carolina's had a better year than people thought. So I like Arkansas -2. Belmont +11.5 at Bradley. I like Belmont. They have Cade Tyson, who is Hunter Tyson, who used to play for Clemson. His brother, we spotlighted him this offseason. A very good player. Also, Malik Dia is going off this year. So Belmont's got a couple of studs there. Like to keep it closer than 11.5 at Bradley. And then we gave you the Kim Palm lines earlier. When I looked at DraftKings lines, Marquette and St. John's is a pick'em game. Give me some Johnnies. I think they're going to I'm going to come full circle here. I think they're going to bounce back because I'm going to play Joel Soriano and Chris Ledlam in tournaments, and we'll see how that goes. So, obviously, I need the Johnnies to win there. So, those are my 4 bets right there.
Miami money line, Arkansas -2, which makes you want to play Ellis and Lawson in the same lineups. Belmont +11.5 at Bradley, and then Marquette and St. John's going with the Johnnies. Love it. What a show tonight. The live chat was absolute fire, flamage. Just as Mama Rock said, put those fire emojis in the chat. That's right, big cats.
Eat 'em up.
Loving that. And Cam's best bet in the chat, Texas Baylor under 150. Well, I'm going to guess. I'm going to take the over-under at I'll set the over-under at 0.5 of how many college basketball players Rodney Terry tries to talk to in a weird, stupid manner that he shouldn't have even done. I'm sorry. I'm on tilt.
You sound like Ryan, a Mizzou fan right here in constant pain.
Yeah, well, welcome.
Pain.
Welcome to, as we like Mama Rock said earlier, this is Jay's therapy session. Get it all out. You know, we're here. We feel your pain, but we also are here to get this bread, and we appreciate everybody hopping in tonight with us. Anything to close us out, gentlemen?
Eric, man, what you got? What you got for us, big dog?
Man, it's really two things, right? Like the value on tomorrow's slate is super gross, so you just like you're gonna have to kind of lean into that fact because the pricing is inflated. So you need to find ways to save money in order to get to the guys that you want. So a lot of hold your nose value options that we talked through, and then just kind of from the game theory standpoint, like where you're making a stand, make sure that you're also playing correlated guys that align with that stand, right? Like if you're going to fade Dalton Connect, make sure you got a good amount of Ziegler in there, right? Because not only are you, potentially or at least theoretically fading a down game from Dalton, but that probably boosts up Zakai Ziegler to have a ceiling game. So try to make sure you have that through line and that your builds tell a story.
Mike, give us the captain's comments to close. Yeah. Man, usually I would say like just rock out the mid tier, go stars and scrubs, but I think you have to take stands on this one more so than you have to do on most slates. So I think the two key guys, Dalton Connect and Zach Edey, you have to decide what you're going to do with. If you play both, it's going to be really tough. You're going to have to use the gross value for sure. If you fade one of them, you're going to have more coin to play with. And so, obviously getting different playing weight guys, you like that total. Throwing out some of the plays here that we obviously gave you today. Judah Mintz, I think, is a smash play. So, I think from like an overall tournament standpoint, I think it's going to be a fun tournament slate. From a cash game standpoint, I think this slate is pretty scary. So, there's just a lot of volatility on this slate. So, it's going to be a lot of fun, though.
It's going to be a blast, and we appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight to prep for that. We appreciate everybody doing that, of course. And just to let you know, if you put Mintz, Edey, L. Ellis, and Lawson in, you have over 6K per player. I'm just saying, if you want to get crazy, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But hey, the chat was fire tonight. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Hit those like and subscribe. Oh, fire. We got Mike to do it.
I made it back.
We appreciate
from
everybody
session.
hanging out. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us so late, everybody in the chat, especially, and those that you just lurking around. We appreciate you doing your thing as well. Shout us all out on Twitter. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. That's how that works in my world. We appreciate everybody doing this with us. We love you. Love yourself. Take care of each other. Let's go do the thing and get this bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.